filling with nectar in the bottom. That's not a good sign either. Not pleased with this colony, and they're very upset. And no eggs thus far, and I should have already seen some. I know she's slowing down this time of year, but I should see some eggs. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Welcome back to Southeast Louisiana. It is September 10th, and it is a beautiful upper 60s morning. It's been in the upper 60s for about 3 or 4 days now, and it's been beautiful. It's supposed to get into the mid and lower 60s next week. First cool front coming down. Wonderful. Now, it is still humid, and always humid when you see that fog out there rolling. But that's okay. It's cool. There's a little breeze in the air. It's gonna be a nice day. I'll still be sweaty as all get out because the humidity just zaps me. But it is a nice break from, high temps. Early in the morning, up in the upper 80s and mid 80s, all the way through till about 10 in the morning with humidity. That just zaps you really bad. But beautiful morning here, and it's a sign. We're closing in on fall. September is always where there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And that's what I enjoy, is that light at the end of the tunnel, knowing that the mornings are going to cool off. Like I said, next week, mid 60s. Whew, can't wait. So it'll get hot today, but the highs are only in the mid 80s and upper 80s all through the next couple weeks. So loving that. Normally, you wouldn't see me doing anything this time of year, but I'm not comfortable with what happened with Hop Guard. I am comfortable on the Apic Guard. I got a knockdown, good enough to get me on through. What do I normally do this time of year? I normally don't do anything. Here's my sequence of events the past few years. What I've always done is I do a quick assessment for queen-rite right after honey harvest, just to see if I extracted a queen. It happens. And this year, of course, my harvest drug out, doing it boxes by boxes. It worked out good, but on the other hand, it messed up my schedule. So I didn't get to treatments until very end of July, beginning of August. Got those in, but normally what I would do is do that assessment in July really quick, go through and blast everybody with OAV around the 1st of August, have it done, and then I don't touch my colony. So basically mid-July, I'm done going in them at all until if I need to go them in the fall, and then I don't normally go in them. I just check them for weight, which means I'm checking them for stores. Any suspect colonies, obviously I go in and take a look and do combines. But yeah, so that's normally what I do. So this is unusual what I'm going to do today. I wasn't even going to carry the camera, but I figured I don't have any more content for the most part until I do a little video on some of my honey that I've gotten from folks. So this shelf was inspired by Mr. Ed. He used to always notice his at the honey house. And I started putting one together and made it. And then I remember when I met with Greg, as you can see, I got a lot of Nature's Image stuff. I got his swag bag, of course his honey back there, but he started talking about his honey shelf, and then of course he showed it on his video the other day, so I got to see it firsthand via video, because obviously I've never been up there yet. I have to make a trip up there one day. So anyway, I had put this together. This is my temporary one. I do want to make a nice shelf on the wall, that kind of like Mr. Ed has, and put all my honeys from different people up there. Most all I've tasted, some I haven't, but I do want to do a video, the tasting video I did from the honey I got last year from Miss Melanie Cruz and Nathan from Duck River. I got Rodney Middleton's honey up there. I got ECP's honey with Mr. Jim Hughes. All those that I got last year I had tasted, but then the video was being put together, was being shot about the same time Ida blew through, and that just disrupted everything. So no video for that, but I'll be doing one. That'll be some content. Plus I got some older videos I want to put up, an older video I want to put up of some equipment that I had gotten back in February that I want to show you guys. So we're gonna go do a quick assessment, I'm hoping, on every single colony, just to see if they're queen-rite. I got nervous on the Hop Guard. I really did, guys. I got nervous because the colonies I looked through to do the counts on, and then some others I went through to pull the strips out the other day, were just jacked up, okay? That's the best way I could say it. I don't know if that goop did something. I don't know if the goop got some queens. I don't know what happened. Now, all strips that I've seen put in Even a lot of the older ones with that fluor, whatever that stuff is, they don't sell anymore. That the mites have built resistance to. Those strips, they'll leave a spot where, you know, the bees stay away from them. All right, fair enough. Well, what the hop guards did is they left a big area okay, so you put it here, then a skipper frame, then here. Basically 3 frames were just dead, like everything except for all the way to the very outside. What I noticed on one was if there were any weak colonies, the wax moths got in there behind them, because the bees abandoned the frame so much with the hop guard that there were wax moths around it. So I reduced the box the other day, pulled those strips out, got those wax moth frames out of there. Who knows how many more in there, reduced them down to a single deep. And the bees, but it was a weak colony when I put them in, and I knew it was. I actually showed y'all that on a video, pointed to it. So that was an issue. But man, that was an eye-opener. Plus the way they were acting when I went in that last video to do the samples. I don't have a good feeling about the treatments with that hop guard. Not like I would have if I'd have shoved some Apivar in there, or just went with the Apiguard, which worked out really well. Those colonies look fine. So let's go in and take a look at a few, see what we can see. Another thing I got to do is put entrance reducers in. That's something I normally would have already had done and had planned to do it, but the hop guard once again said leave, you know, get some air going through there. I cut on my own entrance reducers. I made some out of plywood. They work all right, but they were mainly just a quick. I had some wood and cut them real quick, but you gotta watch plywood. But shoot, I made these. That one worked out good. I make all these just on the table saw. I think I showed it in the video from a few years back. But that's all I do. Just cut them out. That should be plenty. So I'm gonna do this single first. First thing I noticed when I come out is there's no bees on the front. Well, this thing yesterday is loaded with bees on the front. It's so cool out that they're actually inside. Had an inch of rain last night. You can see this plastic bottom board that I got from Hilco now a little better. Ventilation holes. You can reduce the entrance. You can flip it and go back. It's just like kind of like those other ones. You got the mouse guard entrance and all. So I reduced this entrance already. But yeah, that's the first thing I noticed. So at least you can see it now. Usually you can't see it because it's covered with bees, but there should be plenty of bees in here. I think it's just cooled off. So again, folks, the goal is get the strips out. Nice box of bees here. This one's light, I know. It's got some honey. There's a little bit flowing, but they're going to need a bucket of feed on them. But the goal today is get the strip out. Unfortunately, you have to pull some frames and see if they're queen-rite. I suspect this one would be. So we'll get the old strips out. I'll come back and pick them all up later. But anyway, entrance reducers, queen-rite, pull strips. Some have entrance reducers, most don't. Usually would have been done by now. It's not. This only has 9 frames in it. I forgot what the situation was, but it's only got 9 frames. So next year I'll add a frame. So let's just go in. I know they're light on stores, like I said, so. Oh wow, they're really light. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a bit of feed on them sooner rather than later. And smell good. We do have some goldenrod blooming, I noticed, which is very early for us. It's a certain species, but not a lot of it. I don't know how bad they're gonna get today, but I do know we gotta be in quick and out quick. If we see robin, we gotta stop. So nice box of bees. Larvae in here. Yeah, plenty of eggs. This is a queen-rite colony. We're finished. Entrance reducer's already done on this one because it's the custom bottom board. So we'll leave these bees alone. That's all I'm doing. So I'm gonna go do a few more. If I see anything crazy, I'm gonna show it to y'all. I'm gonna start running through these, get them all done. I want some, when I hit a weak one or something, I'll show you what I'm looking at. These over here are mean. I don't know what's up with this one stand. They're mean. And one on the end, and one on the far left. Ugly. Ugly. I'm really concerned with my one on the far right because they just dropped in population after the strips. And they dropped quick. So, and it was a very, very robust colony with a good laying queen. We're gonna find out. Let's see what this one looks like. I put some smoke on them already. See if they're mean like they were. This was a small colony that grew up for me, but wasn't made for production. Didn't plan it for production. Seeing a lot of beetles, and I expect that. This colony is mean. I expect seeing a lot of beetles. Hey, one thing I was going to do was make that stuff that Greg made, Greg Burns. Ouch. They're already stinging me here. This colony is mean. But it didn't work out. I didn't get the Crisco and everything I needed in time, and actually I forgot. Gosh, I hate to pop the second box. These are some mean bees. But we're going to smoke them till their eyes water, as their dirt rooster says. Whoop, drop my hive too. Just not in a rhythm yet this morning. Oh, it's full of honey. So, stores is good. Oh yeah, it's full of honey. Probably some brood in the middle. Yeah, I'm seeing beetles. I figure I'm going to see beetles. That's what I do this time of year. Looks like they're mostly in the top. There's some bees down here, plenty of bees down here, but not a ton. Well, actually, I take that back. All right, throw all of them to the side later. All right. Gonna have to go in the bottom. The top is all honey. So I immediately just want to check for eggs. I don't care to go any further. I don't care to go any further in this colony than I have to. No eggs. Empty frame. This honey has been eaten out of there. Ouch, son of a gun. These bees are doing the same thing. You can tell where the strip was on this one. There's some patch of brood. There's some brood being uncapped. Hopefully that's not mite since we freeze them. The glass is clogging up, so I'm having a problem seeing. They're eating you guys up, I can see. Not seeing eggs, not happy about that. Yeah, these bees are some ugly bees. I'm seeing some uncapped larvae. That's not a good sign. Filling with nectar in the bottom. That's not a good sign either. Not pleased with this colony, and they're very upset. And no eggs thus far. And I should have already seen some. I know she's slowing down this time of year, but I should see some eggs. No eggs in that. Sealed brood, and some of it's being unsealed. Very mean. Not a good sign. Okay, and again, when I put the treatments in, everybody was queen-rite. Everybody. Every colony I had was queen-rite. Some weak. Not saying they couldn't have had a failing queen. Just saying. So folks, this was the one I was concerned with. And they've always been a little bit testy, but they're not terrible. Plus it's robin season. But this was the one I was concerned about, and they're actually doing okay. I'm seeing nectar going in the bottom, but you can see the strip was right here. They're putting nectar over here. They're not refilling it with brood, but she's refilling all this. There's some fresh larvae, and they're getting ready to be capped. So that's a good sign. Can't look for eggs yet. I'm gonna look in another frame. But I got the strips out. Their population's good. We got plenty of honey in the top. So fresh larvae, like I say, I'm looking at fresh larvae, getting ready to be sealed up. So I got eggs in there and everything, so that's good enough. Plenty of honey in this colony. This hive is nice. Dogs are barking. They better not come over here. It's going to be a bad day for them. Because these bees are not happy. Watch the bee. Hurry. There you go, introducer in. Glasses fogged up, can't see anything. Oh, he's barking at a squirrel. Or she, whatever. It's good. Don't come over here and bark at these bees. They're not happy. The singles are light. But, so they're going to need to be fed, the two that I've looked at so far, but that's normal. Expect that. I'm over here by my good bees. I don't know, some of these can get ornery too. I think this one on the end gets a little ornery. These bees are all going to be a little ornery because of all the rain we have every single day, and it is time for robbing. They're very defensive this time of year. They know it's the time. It's that time of year, so that's why I'm careful. I'm watching what's going on. The minute I notice too many bees in the air, like if I close a colony and there's still tons of bees in the air, it's over. We stop. In my yard anyway, I do. I know the big guys can't do that, but I do. I have to. So on that stand, I do have one that I'm very concerned with. I turned the brick sideways, so those will be, when I say I don't go back in them at all anymore, those are the only ones I go back in, is the ones that I suspect. Again, normally that's right after honey harvest. I mark those, and anybody that's good in queen-rite, I blast them with OAV. I don't touch them. I don't go in them after OAV because it doesn't ever seem to affect them at all. It does good, but this hop guard's got me nervous, guys. It's got me nervous. I gotta get my weed eater out here today. This was a relatively strong colony. I would expect it still should be. Oh my gosh, got a lot of beetles. I can tell you that right off the bat. Let's look. I saw 5 or 6, but there's, yeah, squash and beetles. But this is gotta be, this is the time of year I see them like this. So let's talk about that grease. I want to try what Greg showed, but I forgot the grease. Now grease, when I started beekeeping, was a big deal. A lot of people use grease patties. Maybe they still do. A lot of the old timers used grease patties, shortening, to deliver their meds and their treatments. They chewed that out. This is what they did. It's what I saw from some of the old timers I talked to at the meetings, and from Uncle Mutt, who, rest in peace, Uncle Mutt passed away. 50-year beekeeper, passed away a couple weeks ago. But anyway, that's what they did. My goodness, that's full of honey. Goodness, there's a lot of bees in there too. Good. So anyway, they used grease patties a lot. I saw Greg's, oh, they got rid of one here. I saw Greg's mixture, and I wanted to do it, but I forgot to get the stuff yesterday that I needed to do the whole thing. Yeah, they ate almost some whole strips out. Beetles, beetles. So I didn't do it. Don't know if I'd really had time today to get in here and do it anyway. So anyway, grease patties, they used them to deliver antibiotics and other, you know, let's just say homemade treatments they had found. So she's laying this up pretty well. This is a good colony. Didn't sample it. Hopefully we got rid of the mites, knocked them down. They'll get some OAV soon. Let's take a look and see what we got. Any new eggs? But there's eggs in there, so we're good. So we got the strips out. We got eggs. We'll put an introducer on the way out of this stand. There's a little yellow pollen coming in. The bees look good in this colony. Now this is an apigard. They say that shuts the queen down. Some say it does, some say it don't. Most say it does. Some have not had that issue. What I'm going to do with the apigard, I'm going to get a bucket of it, because at the price for the bucket, yeah, I may not use but maybe 2/3 of it. I'm still saving a lot of money. It's easy to apply, and yes, it is at least 3 weeks in a row for me, but shoot, that's easier than these nasty strips. The problem with the strips, if they weren't so gooey, it may not have been such a big deal, but of course the expense, like I told you. But the apigard, let's go in, and what I'm thinking is, and I guess maybe it was Bob or somebody was doing, maybe it was Cayman doing 30 grams, not the 25. And what I saw with 25, we had no bees being pushed out. I figured 30 grams at 95 degrees outside, 3 times. I'm only 3 weeks putting them, you know, out of brood. Brood break is good. Maybe that's what helps the thymol. But hey, I'm looking at apigard. Let's look at this apigard colony, see how it fares. These two were apigard, but I'm gonna look at this one. If I can see a sign of a queen, that's it. I don't have any strips to pull out of this. I really didn't need to go in it, I guess. I just want to look at it. It might be all honey up top. I think it is. I'm gonna leave this one probably alone. I'm not gonna go in it. I see a lot of bees in the bottom. It was queen-rite. It got apigard. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna trust that the apigard did not harm my queen. Because it's not that I'm concerned that the hop guard miticide itself killed the queen. I was afraid of the goop killing the queen. They look normal in the bottom and honey in the top, so they're probably fine. Just gonna peek in this one as well. The second apigard. Oh goodness. Loaded with bees. This was a good colony too. I'm gonna look on the lid for the queen on this one. Oh, it smells good too. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave this one alone as well. It's probably, oh my gosh, it's heavy in the top. Probably some brood up top. I'm gonna leave them alone too. So I'm gonna go through some more. Again, I'll show you any crazy ones. I'll probably show you that weak one that I combined. Let's see if it's doing any good. And then the rest I'm just gonna zip through, make sure queen-rite gets strips out. You see what I'm doing? That's what I'm doing. Nothing really to see here besides that. So, well, that weak one's bringing in pollen. That's a good sign. I didn't see a queen in there, and they were really sketchy looking. But hopefully we reduced them in time to a single. And no matter what I try with beetles, whether it be traps, with any new concoctions I'm gonna do, which I am gonna try that grease, my biggest weapon against the beetles is just reducing space. Just reducing space. If I don't have bees covering at least 8 frames, and I see a lot of beetles, I reduce it. If I don't see a lot of beetles, usually they're keeping them under control anyway. If I see a lot of beetles and I notice there's a lot of space, I immediately reduce them. And when I say a lot of beetles, I'd say if I see a dozen and I see an empty box, it's coming off. Even as far as going into a nuke if I need to. And I almost thought I should have put that one in a nuke, but at the time it was a last minute deal. Holy cow, that one at the end is mad. Putting in entrance reducers is one of my least favorite things. Look at the pollen coming in, guys. So this, guys, is what I'm really used to seeing this time of year, is a good full bottom and a good heavy top. And that thing's heavy, like it's 60 pounds. This is what I'm not seeing. This is the one I just showed you with all the pollen coming in. It's fine. I'm gonna pull those strips. I'm not digging in that thing. Or should I? Who knows? But that's what I'm normally used to seeing, and that's why I don't go back in them, because this is what they go in. I mean, not all of them. Obviously, not all of my colonies look like this. But this is what I'm used to seeing. And when I went to put those strips in last, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago, it's what I wasn't seeing, and it bothered me. After one round of treatment, I was putting those single strips back in to finish them off, and I was seeing colonies that did not look like this. Yet, when I put the strips in initially, this is what they did look like. That's why I don't have a warm fuzzy. That's really why. Is you know, as a beekeeper, you beekeepers know, you get used to what you do and your procedures, your management strategies. You get used to what you're seeing. You know what you see normally year to year. Yes, you have years that are off and do different things and crazy springs and all that. I understand that, but you kind of know what you're looking for in your colonies versus your management strategies, and that's not what I was seeing. I don't know what it was. Could it have been an anomaly in the season? I don't know. It's just rode right up next to me putting in hop guard, and seeing that, it bothered me. But yet, I go here and I see a good one that had hop guard in it, and it's fine. So maybe it was an anomaly. I don't know. So let me get this one finished, get that one finished. Gonna wrap this stand up, go next door, then I gotta go into town, and it's gonna be good. Bees are done until OA. Oh, and I gotta feed my singles. Well, guys, I told you I'd go through that weak one with you, and I didn't. I just was in a hurry and I jumped on it. I thought it was queenless the other day. I saw the queen in it. Didn't look for eggs. I saw her put it back together. What I noticed was a small patch of honey that they were trying to tear out, and it was gooey. Almost like small hive beetles that begin to eat on it. And what the small hive beetles do is they go after that pollen, they go after that honey and nectar, and they feed on all the resources. Basically, they feed on what the bees feed on, and they defecate and destroy it. There was a patch, about yay big around, The bees were taking care of it and cleaning it. It's a good thing I reduced them to a single. And I'm talking about that one with the nuke on top. It's going to go into a nuke. But here's the problem. I got through all the colonies, and I'll tell you about those in a second. But I'm starting to see a little bit of activity. Now, that's not robbing. They've always had a little entrance underneath there, and they've got entrance reducers in now. So they're really getting stopped up on the front. You can see them bringing in pollen. There's no fighting and all that. They're not robbing. They're not just hanging off of there. But what I am seeing is a lot of bees around the tops investigating. Now, that could be them because their entrances are stopped up. All these had top entrances because of rotten boxes, not because I made them. So that's what you're seeing here. Here, all these. This has a warped lid. So it's not that there's a bunch of robbing, but I'm starting to see signs. So I don't want to tear into that nuke or that box and put it in a nuke just yet, because they are weak. They seem to be stable right now. I just want to leave them alone. And I will do a separate video swapping them over and showing you what they look like. And if that little spot of slimy looking nectar is around, I'll show that to you. But it looks like they were cleaning it up. Might have been from when they were in the double and they were cleaning it up. They look stable. So maybe this afternoon, or maybe tomorrow afternoon or something, I'll go through it, put it in the nuke, show you what I found. Did find a queen, thank goodness. So here's what I found on all the colonies. I'm gonna wrap this video up now. Everybody looked relatively good. I saw a lot of different things. I saw a little bit of nectar coming in. What I saw where the strips were was some bees completely destroyed the entire comb, took it all out. Most just destroyed it by the strip, which is normal. And then some bees were putting a little bit of nectar and brood off to the side of the strips, and others didn't want to touch it. Just different bees, different whatever. Didn't see a ton of beetles, just average amounts. That stand over there obviously is a good strong stand, a lot of strong colonies, but for the most part only found a few weak ones. And as far as queenlessness, I got one, and then that first one we looked at. I think those two are without queens. Was that the strips, the hop guard? I don't think so. Everybody's got entrance reducers now, but everybody else is looking pretty good, so that's good. That's a little reassuring. I was not feeling good about what I was seeing. Anyway, feel better now that I saw queens and eggs and things like that. Didn't take you through every one of them. We'd have been here all day. It's already been about an hour and a half, 2 hours. The biggest thing is I'm noticing is every one of these has got some seriously heavy top deeps. That could bite me in the spring. We'll have to open up a lot of space. But right now, outside of the singles, which will, like I said, probably get some feed, these doubles are packed with honey. They are packed in the tops with honey, so they're good. They got a goldenrod flow coming up, whatever that yields, and they'll be fine. They'll be good. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'll get back to that nuke another time. I appreciate all you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I did bees in September. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and may God bless you. We'll see y'all later.